Hey, what's up, everybody? The VC here, Villain Club. Because, sometimes you got to be the villain for the cause. And it's popular opinion, by the way, whether you want to admit it or not. That's what it's all about here, right? Just sharing common sense thoughts about the things that are going on. Like the box office failure of Snow White. Because it's just too woke. Like Disney is, right? It's just a woke movie that no one cares about, just like how Disney's woke. But anyhow, subscribe if you want to hear content of this nature. Talking about all kinds of different things, because nothing's off the table here on the Villain Club. And I'm also on Rumble if you want to follow me on Rumble, whichever is more convenient for you, YouTube or Rumble. Alright, have at it. Or both. Alright, and if you do, thank you. As I try to provide daily content on things that are going on, the haps with the craps of what's going on out there. So let's take a look around. Alright, what caught my attention the other day is Jamal Bowman over here. Like, the hiding place he's been hiding out at ever since he got voted out of office. Terrible politician, and he got voted out because he's garbage, right? And the guy, if you guys don't recall, he's the guy that pulled the fire alarm to try to delay the vote of something that was going on in the legislature, and he pulled the fire alarm so they could delay the vote, right? And then he tried to say that he thought it was the back door or something like that. Some bullshit excuse, right? And it's like, he came from a teaching background, right? So you work in schools. So common sense would say that what you pull is not the back door handle or whatever it is. It's actually a fire alarm, right? It's noted on the wall. It says alarm, right? Fire alarm. So things like that, it just makes you look stupid, right? So he has some lame excuse, made him look stupid. I think they might have, if they didn't censure him, they should have. But they should have just outright kicked him out. But in the end, he got voted out anyways because he's garbage. So he has no credibility, no nothing to provide any insight or anything whatsoever because he's straight garbage. Like how he's trying to talk here on CNN. And it says here, Dems defames Elon Musk on CNN, and Musk's response is perfect. Yeah. Dude has zero credibility to say nothing. I'd be like, dude, my response would be, you don't even know what the fire alarm looks like, dude. You pull the fire alarm, you dumb fuck. Alright, get the fuck out of here, man. You got nothing to say. You got no standing at all to say anything whatsoever. Go back to your little hiding place you were hiding out at for the last few months when you got voted out. Bitch. So let's take a look at what he said here.
The Senate is scratched and its color is fading. I can't drive this, it'd be degrading.
And Elon Musk is incompetent in his position.
Another funny thing about the Democrats is...
Courtesy of Dave Rubin report here. It's funny because, like, how can you talk about how Elon Musk is incompetent? Alright, look at Jamal Bowman. Talk about incompetence. He's a straight idiot.
And mainstream media is, as you know, if you're a Democrat and you're a hysterical politician, it works for a while. Then eventually you get voted out, thank God. And where do you end up when you're a failed Democrat politician? Yes, you end up on mainstream media. Jamal Bowman, who was a congressman from New York, Westchester District, then he became a big Hamas supporter, mostly ran on that. Decided, so he got beat and now he's out of a job. He also pulled a fire alarm to stop a congressional hearing a while ago, a congressional vote. Not a great guy, just not a great guy.
Yes,
here
so
he is calling
trash.
Elon Musk a Nazi.
That's not
He's
true.
a fucking asshole.
This shows, again, the American people do not trust Elon Musk. And Elon Musk is incompetent in his position. And how do we know? Because they fired tens of thousands of people, was challenged in court. The court said the people have to go back, and now the people are coming back. He's incompetent. He's a
Fuck
thief.
out of here.
He's a Nazi, and people don't trust him.
Get the fuck out of here,
Let me,
asshole.
No. Well, you speak in a very specific sort of way, which is a little bit of a trick to get people to think that you know what you're saying. But Elon's had enough of that shit, and he tweeted this. I've had enough lawsuit inbound. Now, look, I want to talk about the free speech element to this. Guys, free speech. I think I've been a pretty good defender of free speech. America has the best defense of free speech, which is the First Amendment. We have very, very specific things around that, libel and slander. If you're going to go up there and call Elon Musk a Nazi, at what point is it slander? Now, look, if we start going down this road and then we have to figure out who's being sarcastic when they talk about people and all those things, it's messy. So I'm actually not even sure that I'm for Elon Musk suing this guy. I'm actually not sure I'm for that. But the threat of it, the threat that these people should feel some threat, not a physical threat, even though they're all about physical threats. We'll have more on blowing up Teslas in a moment. But they should feel some threat that if you just say the worst things about people all the time, the way you are riling up people ultimately is going to be dangerous. And also the idea that he's incompetent because they fired people and some courts decided to push some people back. Well, first off, the lower courts are in, I would say, a due dereliction of their duty. If you want more on what the courts are doing and the fight that they're in with the executive branch, with Trump right now, I interviewed Josh Hammer on Friday. Which is up right now. He's a lawyer. We went into it. I mean, the courts are definitely overstepping their bounds. If you
lower courts got no say in federal decision making of what Trump is doing. Like, all they're doing is just causing a speed bump or a roadblock that it's just going to be overcome anyways in the higher courts. So yeah, get the fuck out of here with that shit too. Let's look at, let's see here. Where should we look at? All right, let's go take a look over here.
We've been telling clients it's nearly impossible to sell a home in winter. Not true.
Senior Trump advisor Elon Musk has faced repeated and very personal attacks since he's teamed up with President Trump and started
Definitely
Doge.
personal. They're attacking Teslas and the companies and all that stuff.
From a con man to an oligarch, and even worse than that,
a Nazi.
Elon Musk is incompetent in his position. And how do we know? Because they fired tens of thousands of people. It was challenged in court. The court said the people have to go back, and now the people are coming back. He's incompetent. He's a thief. He's a Nazi, and people don't trust him.
And we don't trust you.
Someone's incompetent in their position. Didn't you lose your seat to George Latimer? Oh, yeah, that happened. Well, now Musk says he is done with this, and he shot back at Bowman's comments, posting, "I've had enough. Lawsuit inbound." And Attorney General Pam Bondi also sending a warning to Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett after this remark.
I am truly here for very selfish reasons. Starting with, on March 29th, it's my birthday. And all I want to see happen on my birthday is for Elon to be taken down. Yes.
This is domestic terrorism. And Maria, now you have this Congresswoman Crockett who is calling for attacks on Elon Musk on her birthday. Let's take him out on my birthday, she says. And yet she turns and says, "Oh, I'm not calling for violence." Well, she is an elected public official. And so she needs to tread very carefully because nothing will happen to Elon Musk.
Paul.
It's funny because, it's just funny how, they'll say things, right? And you know what they mean when they stand behind what they say, right? But then you take things way out of context with Trump when, he talks about bloodbath, right? Oh, he's saying there's going to be a bloodbath, right? But they took that way out of context on that because they didn't really allow it to full phrasing of what Trump was saying to him in terms of bloodbath. I mean, Crockett was straightforward with what she said, right? Jamal Bowman was straightforward with what he said. There's no cut to, oh, it's a bloodbath and stuff like that. There's going to be a bloodbath, right? It was fully laid out by these people that said it themselves.
As I look at this, Jasmine Crockett.
And then when they get their shit called out, they backtrack what they say. Oh, well, I didn't say this. And it's like, get the fuck out of here.
Crockett insisted, she was not encouraging any sort of violence. I still don't know why you would make a remark like that. But putting her aside and looking broadly at what's happening with Tesla, the FBI, I was looking at their website about what domestic terrorism is. You can see this when you intend to intimidate and coerce the civilian population, influence the policy of government. Several of these acts clearly are intended to do just that.
The problem is we don't have a domestic terrorism law at the federal level, because in the terrorism world federally, you have to have a connection to a foreign power. So when we say a domestic terrorism incident, it can be without actually charging it. And that's why something like, I think it's about up to 35 states have terrorism laws so that they can do just that. You remember the Waukesha parade, the Christmas parade, the guy drove through a parade? Everybody wanted that to be terrorist. There's not a federal statute that's on point. And the reason for that is that on the right, the fear is that it would be weaponized against the right. And that's generally the debate you see in legal circles. So that's just sort of the framework. But what you can do,
it's a fascinating take,
is number one, follow the money. And that goes to some of the stuff that goes on these campuses. There's been significant reporting, responsible reporting, that there is Iranian money going into some of these groups that act on campuses.
I want to look at
now
Soros
you have a tie
money
to a foreign nation. Okay, so that's potentially a terrorism
George
charge.
Soros money. I want to see that.
What we can also do is what Musk is talking about, which is sue. Some of this stuff is blatantly defamatory. It's encouraging violence. In my mind, some of the things that we're seeing in the media, it's extremely irresponsible, and I think Bowman's way over the line.
Totally. And so maybe some sort of civil action, which, Kaylee, you look at this, I mean, the number of people, the voices out there, Ayanna Pressley called him a Nazi Nepo baby. You remember the left going nuts. This includes people in the media suggesting he did a Nazi salute, which he did not. It was an absolute lie. And Mae Musk, his mother, said, we need to go after some of these people.
Yeah, I'm not in the business of defaming people regularly on TV, but I certainly would not want to defame the world's richest man who could absolutely bring a lawsuit against you. Right. So it's kind of inexplicable why Democrats are running with this attack. But, the vandalism of Tesla in general, the attacks, the constant barrage of attacks against Elon Musk, the Democrats' inability to separate the political from the personal is a big reason why they are so unlikable right now. Sometimes a car is just a car. And most Americans look at a Tesla and they're wondering whether to buy one. And they're asking questions like, can I afford to install a charger in my garage? Not, well, is Elon Musk a fascist and should I be supporting his agenda? These are not questions that normal Americans ask themselves. And quite frankly, we've talked a lot about whether there's regret among independents and moderate voters for supporting Trump. If you are looking at what is happening with Elon Musk and Tesla right now, I cannot think of a single better way to guarantee that people do not regret voting for Trump. Because when you are looking at what is coming from the Democratic Party, voters see chaos, they see rage, and they see violence. This is not a party interested in winning people back, if that is the tactic.
Speaking of someone not separating political and personal, let's bring in Tim Walz. He talked to us about his personal phone, things he does, and now he's saying he doesn't do it anymore. Watch.
On the iPhone, they've got that little stock app. I added Tesla to it to give me a little boost during the day. 225 and dropping.
This guy bugs me in a way that is probably unhealthy. And
he bugs me because he wants tampons in boys' bathrooms, right? Think about it. Tampons in boys' bathrooms. That's why they call him Tampon Tim, right? Like, who really wants that? Think about that. Tampons in boys' bathrooms. You're trying to feminize boys, all right? That's what I'm looking at here. So this guy is no rugged guy at all.
I have to be careful about being a smart. I was making a joke. These people have no sense of humor. They are the most literal people.
Sandra, that's classic. Yeah. Hey, I didn't mean it. I was a joke.
I didn't find anything funny about that. In fact, there's nothing funny about any leader or member of Congress, as we saw earlier in the segment, wishing and praying on the demise of American people, of American businesses, American stocks, which means American retirement funds. A big mistake on his part, says Ro Khanna, member of the Democrat Party, whose voice should grow louder as we hear more talk like that coming from their party. On Elon Musk, he's incompetent, he's a thief, he's a Nazi, people don't trust him. According to Jamal Bowman,
simple reminder, remember he notoriously pulled the fire alarm in Congress over negotiations over the government shutdown and lost to George Latimer, we should note. But nothing funny about rooting on the demise of people and money and American companies. And
it's just envy. It's jealousy and envy is the reason why they keep attacking Elon, because he's the richest guy in the world. He's bulletproof, right? In general, just, you know, he's like the Tony Stark of life, right? Because Tony Stark, you know, Iron Man in the comics, but he's like the Tony Stark of right now, present day Earth, right? And people are jealous. That's just being jealous and envious because they're not Elon and doing what he's doing. Standing side by side with the President of the United States. I mean, look at what he's doing. All right, he should be vice president if anything. I mean, just saying.
It's not going to work for them to keep that up.
I mean, Marie, I've got to ask you, though, where are the Democratic voices like Ro Khanna? Ro Khanna has categorically condemned this.
He's out there all over the media.
Where are the others?
Here's the problem, though, Sandra.
Where are the others,
with what you said. Elon Musk is standing on stage at CPAC with a chainsaw making fun of firing federal workers who make $50,000 a year. So, sure, should Tim Walz have made that joke? I don't think so.
I think it was a chainsaw to government spending.
No, he was saying we are taking a chainsaw, we are firing people, these people who cannot now afford health care. They cannot afford to pay their mortgage. These are not just liberal bureaucrats in D.C.
Yeah, look at California where the Democrat governor Newsom is giving everything to illegals, including health insurance, full ride, on us. We're paying for it.
Where was the concern for auto workers who were laid off during the Biden administration?
They are all across the country. And I just will say, Elon has made the personal political. He brought Tesla to the White House. They did an event with Tesla at the White House. And Elon and Trump both have said the worst things about people on X, on the campaign trail, and I don't hear Republicans upset about all of those things.
But should more Democrats condemn firebombing Tesla facilities?
Well, of course, Kayleigh, but there's a big difference between firebombing Tesla and saying that Elon Musk has very dangerous ideas. He is hurting average Americans. The world's richest man who makes millions from the U.S. government is taking away, elderly people's pensions because He is every single day. I know people who have lost their jobs because of Elon, and they cannot pay for childcare now. That is a terrible. And he jokes about it and laughs about it. Let's talk about that.
His dangerous ideas saved 2 people from space who were stranded during the Biden era. So there's that.
Hey everyone.
Yeah, that bitch is stupid. That blonde bitch. She got some big hooters though, but that blonde bitch is stupid. All right. Enough of this Elon stuff right now. Let's see what else we got going on over here. Let's see here. What else caught my attention? I saw something catch my attention. Let's see. What else we got going on? Altadena residents protest use of local golf course as Eaton Fire debris transfer site. So they're using a golf course to put debris on it. Why don't they just take it to the dumps or take it to where they're supposed to take it? Instead of taking it to a golf course. I mean, what kind of shit is that? LA is garbage too. Garbage leadership.
The Army Corps of Engineers is responding to this weekend protest.
And I bet you not a damn thing is still done in the Palisades right now. Like, how long is the permitting process going to take just to clean up the rubbish, right?
Over what's being done about the toxic debris from the Altadena wildfires. At issue, where that debris is being taken and sorted. The Army Corps of Engineers maintains every precaution is being taken. And KCAL's Lauren Posen is live in Altadena now with a look at the ongoing concerns. Lauren.
Well, Pat, the Army Corps of Engineers made it clear tonight safety is a top priority, but many residents are still skeptical about this operation happening at this golf course in their own backyard. Starting Monday, the Army Corps of Engineers will use 12 acres of the Altadena Golf Course as a temporary recycling center of materials from burned homes.
Just to be clear, the fire ash debris, that's the stuff that's the hazardous material that's on top of that is actually burned. That will continue to go directly from the homes into a sealed truck and then taken directly to a permitted landfill.
Colonel Sonny Avichol says vegetative debris, scrap metal, and clean concrete will be broken down here.
That's concrete that we've rinsed, and we've also tested for asbestos, and so it will be asbestos-free.
He says equipment will be placed in specific spots to reduce noise along with mufflers. Air quality monitors are on site, and if poor air quality is detected,
we'll shut down operations immediately. And that's really just for safety, and what we'll do is we will make sure that we mitigate all of that dust. So with misters, which we'll be using anyway.
But for some residents, they're against this in their backyard.
Yeah,
it's just
I
not
would be too.
Safe. I mean, anybody in their right mind would see that. That's why there's laws. I don't even know what to say. I'm not trying to slow this process down. I don't want it to be slow. I want...
Yeah, it's funny how they'll do things, right? The government will do things, the city government that is, they'll do things to bullshit, it's just all these laws, the permitting process, to clean things up, but then they'll just allow the cleanup to just dump their shit wherever they want and pile it up, and it's like, yeah, it's damn if you do, damn if you don't, right? At the same time, LA's a mess, and Karen Bass got to go, and Governor Newsom got to go too, because it was all their fault. Believe it or not.
Altadena as a whole to be safe, and certainly for us and all these residents around here. This is a heavy populated area.
But the Corps says safety is a top priority, not just for their crew, but for residents too.
This is a really large facility. It's 12 acres, so there will be a good amount of distance from where we are doing our operations to...
I guess they're not going to be playing golf there anytime soon.
The residents.
Tiprin Follett lost her business in the fire and had her home damaged too. She says this is just another disaster waiting to happen for her community.
Yeah. I'm not sure that this is the right thing. In fact, I'm sure it's not the right thing.
I agree, baby.
We've just been through so much.
I agree too, baby.
Now, the Corps told us tonight they chose this location because of its proximity to the affected houses, and they feel they can get this material in and out much faster and then allow the homeowners to rebuild. Now, as for the residents who are...
And then what? And then what about this pile of debris that's just going to sit here, right? I mean, I don't know. This is just stupid. Just haul it all off and take it where it belongs. You're already going to take the so-called capped trucks out to where they go. Take all the rest of the shit, alright? Stop with the bullshit. Just pull it all out, alright? And just stop damaging the community. You already let the fire burn the community. Just take all the debris with it, alright? Let them clean up the mess instead of just dumping it in the golf course. It's just stupid, alright? Stupid. Dumb shit. Oh, look at this other bitch here. Caught on camera keying Tesla. This stupid bitch right here. Look at that. Alright, dumb cunt. Ooh, look at this, man. Look at these quads. Alright, let's keep it going here. What else we got going on? California deserts drowning in trash. SoCal residents want answers. What kind of trash? Is this like illegal immigrant trash? What is this? I don't even want to know. I'm just going to keep going. I don't even want to know. Like, where is all that trash? Desert turned into landfill. Oh, look at this. Good Samaritan. Actually, you know what? I want to listen to it. Let's see what it is.
Turn your ideas into video with AI. Add your branding.
Trash dumped across multiple acres of land, piled 2 to 3 stories high. These are examples of what some residents in the Antelope Valley are seeing in their community, and they are fed up. I investigated this growing problem in North LA County and why several major Southern California waste haulers are being accused of illegally dumping some of this trash. The Antelope Valley's vast landscape, dotted with Joshua trees and animals well adapted to the desert, is a special place for North Los Angeles County residents.
People might just think, oh, it's just dirt. It's not just dirt.
It's where locals Erica Swart, Wendy Walker, and Jackie Livingstone love to enjoy nature.
I just recreate out here. I bring my dog with me.
But they say this landscape is changing for the worse. Short has lived in the area for about 15 years, raising 2 kids. She says in recent years, instead of seeing miles of beautiful desert, some parts look more like dumping grounds for trash, like this makeshift landfill spread across 15 acres with trash piled 2 to 3 stories high.
Initially, we were thinking it was household, but we soon found out that it was way deeper than that.
Short is also part of the nonprofit Strength-Based Community Change, and they've been focused on the growing problem of illegal dumping.
So you have piles of what is green waste. It is actual mulch. But then you see piles of construction, ground up concrete, glass.
Spectrum News reviewed public records, lawsuits, and legal notices, all pointing to major waste companies dumping tons of trash on private, empty parcels of land without proper permits. It is legal to spread mulch across land with certain restrictions, but Short says she's seeing the organic material mixed with trash and construction debris, like here, a half block from an elementary school in the rural community of Lake Los Angeles.
And you would say in the last few years this has really gotten bad?
Whatever. I mean, you know, people will find ways to dump stuff because it costs too much money just to, you know, pay to dump at a dump. So people will dump in places where it's free, right? And this is what's happening here. Green waste mixed with trash. Green waste. Green waste. I thought that stuff was supposed to be biodegradable and recyclable, right? I guess the Green New Deal yet is waste. Full of shit once again, right? Just saying. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. That's all I gotta say. But yeah, some stuff here we got going on. Yeah. Crazy stuff here. Alright, so I think we'll just cap it off with Colombia backs down after Trump demands amid Khalil deportation. I mean, in the end, he should be deported, I think, because he is creating domestic terrorism issues and what he has done. Plus, he's a guest in the country. I don't care if you got a green card, you're still a guest. You can't just act like you can do what you want, right? And then encourage, free Gaza and, commending Hamas for terrorism and all that stuff that they're doing and creating problems of anti-Semitism to the Jewish people and creating all these issues, right? And just like anybody else, I mean, if you're in some other country and you do shit like that, what happens? You get jailed, possibly killed, depending on the country you're in. Some countries don't play that game. I know that we're soft in the U.S., so you should just accept the deportation as your life has been spared and you have another chance, right? Because other countries take this shit seriously. All right, so that's what you got to keep in mind. So with that, that's my cap off, all right, of today's episode. Let me know what you think about all this madness that's happening and common sense answers that I got towards it. All right, and share with me your thoughts if you agree with me or not. I'm always open to, everybody's opinions, all right? And other than that, subscribe to my YouTube or follow me on Rumble. All right, and that's what we got going on. And I want to say thank you, and I'll see you next one.